In this example, you'll learn how to find and fix interferences with a moving assembly. Let's go ahead and play our animation and see what we have. Typical machine sequence of operations: the gripper goes from point A to point B, picks up a small part, and retracts back to its original spot. Question is do we have any interferences along the way? Up on the analysis group, there's a command called collision. Activate that, and any collision will be highlighted in red. We do have some interferences with these small gripper jaws here, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I want to see is what else do we have. So I'll hit the play button, and we have a collision between that small bar sticking out, and I didn't know about the motor. It was hitting the actual frame itself. We can fix that a variety of ways, such as decreasing the height, moving the gripper over, or a variety of other things. This example here, let's go ahead and focus in on this small bar. To dial in on it, I'm going to activate the timeline, and we can move our cursor over to the point of collision. Now this is probably a pretty obvious collision here, but smaller parts you might not notice. This tool is invaluable in finding and fixing these types of collisions. Alright, to give me an idea of how bad that clearance is, I'm going to put a measurement on there between these two faces and see where the collision is before and after. So up on the report group, there is a monitor command and a graphing command. What a monitor will do is allow you to apply a measurement between two faces to measure a distance, angles, or you can even plot motor parameters on your on a graph. I'm going to select a distance. I'm going to put a distance between this inside face here and this top face. So when the distance is 0, they're interfering. When it's not 0, we've got a clearance there. So we'll hit OK. Notice that is now in my navigator as distance 1. I'm going to bring up my graph tool, and we'll hit play. And it's going to graph that distance out for me over time. So anywhere where it's 0, it has a clearance violation. Now it might be hard to see, so what you can do is right-click in the graph area, hit the probing mode, and go to single X, and you get this sort of timeline cursor in the graph window that allows you to dance your model back and forth. The two call-outs that you see, the upper value is the Y value, the lower value is the X value, and we see we have 0 right at that point of interference. Now we kind of knew that, but this tool here is going to help us understand what the clearance is after we make our change. So I'm going to put my model somewhere around here so I can see both parts at the same time. As I make my change, I'll know if I'm out of the way. Now you could probably use a variety of ways to fix this thing. You might use some wave linking or tie some dimensions together and whatnot. I'm going to use good old-fashioned synchronous technology and drag these faces out of the way. So I'm going to make that my work part. I'm going to go into modeling, and I'm going to grab this face and just drag it out of the way to a distance where I think is probably going to suffice. Now that that's done, let's return back to our top level assembly and turn our graph back on and play our animation. And now we clearly see that we have a distance between those two faces, letting me know that I have a clearance. Now how much is the clearance that I added? You know the drill. Right click, go into the probe mode, and jog your cursor over that spot and see that we now have a 9 millimeter distance between those two. Is that good? Don't know, but now you can make some decisions on that. A couple of neat things with the graph here. If you want to change the colors, there is a toolbar command that you can drop down. You can go to the grid options, and you can toggle on the back plane. You can show different colors and whatnot. If you turn everything off, it'll give you a nice white background. You can also change the divisions of your scale here. If you want to make things a little bit larger, smaller, you have all kinds of control over that. Other options that you have, you can show Z-axis options, which doesn't help us here. You can hide and show legends, all kinds of options on controlling exactly what you have displayed in your graph. All right, that's it for this exercise.